Hi boys and girls, my name is Miss Newman and I am a student at Iowa State studying to be a teacher. Can I have everyone go around and say their names so I know your names?
My name's Gray. Megan.
I'm Brett.
Alright, today we are going to learn the difference between fiction and non-fiction books. Okay, and does anyone know what these are? Have you ever seen these before?
Animals.
Animals, that's right. Do you know what kind of animals?
Well, looks like a lion.
Yep, this one's a lion.
Is that an elephant?
And this one's an elephant, that's right. That's what elephants do. Have you guys ever seen these before in real life?
In the zoo.
At the zoo?
At Blank Park Zoo.
My grandma has them in her house.
She does. I bet she has pictures in her house. I don't know, does she have a real lion and a real elephant? Yep, I have seen these at the zoo as well. Alright, I have another picture. Does anyone know who this guy is?
Washington?
Yep, George Washington. Have you ever seen him before?
He's on $1.
He is on the $1 and
Quarter.
the quarter, that's right.
I had a quarter once.
Yep, I am sure everyone's had a quarter from your parents. And George Washington, he actually lived a long time ago. He was one of the founding fathers of America. Does anyone know who this might be?
Cinderella.
This is Cinderella.
Princess.
Have you ever seen her before?
Huh? Yeah, I saw her at Disneyland.
You saw her at Disney World? I bet it was someone dressed up like her.
It was her.
Yeah.
She's real. She
Yep.
signed a picture for me.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she's
that
real.
That was really nice of
Yeah.
her. And she's been on a movie. Have you seen her movie before?
Yeah.
I don't like those movies.
Yeah, this one's maybe a little bit more for girls, but how do you feel about him?
Superman!
Yep, this is Superman. Have you ever seen him before?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
You've seen him before?
Yeah.
Maybe someone dressed up as Halloween like him before?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
My brother.
I was Superman last year.
You were.
Uh-huh.
That's cool. And you can also find him in books and comic books and movies and on TV. Okay. Alright, and do you guys know what these two have in common? The animals and George Washington?
And hair.
They do both have hair, but what these two have in common that they are both real. George Washington has lived before, and animals you can see at the zoo. And does anyone know what these two have in common?
They're movies.
That's right, they are in movies, but they are not real. These are what you could find in non-fiction books.
But I saw Cinderella. She's real.
She might, the princess could be real, but I think it was someone dressed up as her. So you can find these in fiction books, and you could find animals or someone like George Washington in non-fiction books. All right, I have a collection of books here that I'm going to share with you. The first book is called Let It Fall by Marianne Coca Leffler. This book is non-fiction. It's non-fiction because if you look through, it says it is fall, it is autumn, and it has little kids throwing leaves and with their dog. They're with their parents talking about school. And then it talks about how awesome autumn is. Mounds of color, raked up high, jump in the leaves. Have you guys ever jumped in leaves before?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite things to do after you rake them up and have a big pile.
Mm-hmm.
This book is nonfiction because it's actually real. It talks about fall and how fall is real and all the things that you can do with fall. I have another nonfiction book here. It's called A Year in a Castle. This book is a really cool book. It's kind of small pictures, so I'll try so everyone can see. But this book is, on each page, it's a different month. And it has it's a big picture of a castle. And it talks about what it would be like to live in a real castle back in the olden days. So this is January. Up here it says it's January, and it says what it might be like in a castle. Something else that makes this nonfiction is because this probably actually happened. It has like the lady and the lord who lived in this castle and ruled the land. There's something else cool about this book that makes it nonfiction. Back here is where you can learn more about living in castles. All the websites and more books, and also has a glossary if you get confused on some of the words. in my last book, the nonfiction. It's called What Do You Do with a Tail Like This by Steve Jenkins and Robin Page. This book is nonfiction. You see right here it says, what do you do with a nose like this? You see animal noses? Do you recognize any of these animals just by their noses?
It looks like an alligator.
This one does look like an alligator with his big teeth.
Dog?
That could be a dog. I don't know. We'll have to turn the page and see if it is a dog, but that does look like a dog nose.
What is that one?
This one?
Yeah.
We'll have to turn the page and see. And on this page, it shows the whole animal. So this one was a mole. This one is a mole with the weird hairs on his nose. And here, this one is a hyena. So it's really similar to a dog, the one that we didn't know if it was a dog or not. Then the alligator with his big teeth. And if you look at these little words, that's where it says what the animal does with its nose. For this one says, if you're a hyena, you find your next meal with your nose. So he sniffs out, and then each word says what the animal does with its nose. This one is nonfiction because it tells you exactly for real what the animals do. And you can find these animals at the zoo, like our picture. And now I have 3 books that are fiction. This one is called The Missing Tarts by B.G. Hennessy. This book is about the Queen of Hearts who makes some tarts. And they get stolen, and then she has to go find them. She tries to have her friends help her find him. She's running through the land. She asks Jack and Jill. Has anyone heard of Jack and Jill? Go up the hill? She asks Jack and Jill to help her find the tarts. This one is nonfiction because the characters like Jack and Jill and the Queen of Hearts are just fictional characters. That means someone made them up for a story like this one. I have 2 more books to share with you. This one's called Wemberly Worried by Kevin Hankins. Is this your favorite? Have you read this book before? It's a good one. This book is about Wemberly. She's a little mouse who worries a lot. She worries all the time. She worries at night, when she's in the bathtub, when she's with her parents. She's just worrying about everything. This book is fiction because the character is a mouse. And we all know that mice cannot talk. They might have little families like she does, but they don't wear clothes and they don't talk to each other. And then the last book I'm going to share with you is Arthur's Teacher Trouble by Mark Brown. This book is about Arthur, who is an aardvark. And he's going to school, and he has a little sister and a mom and dad. But this book is also fiction because, just like Wemberly, we know that aardvarks do not talk to each other and wear clothes and go to school. All right. Okay. These 3 books I talked about, these 3 books are fiction because they are fantasy and they are make-believe and they are meant to entertain us. These are really good books too. It's okay that they're fiction. Nothing wrong with that. And then these 3 are nonfiction because the people, places, and the events are all real and they could have actually happened. All right, is there any questions so far? No? All right. So I'm going to draw what's called a T-chart on the board. See how there's 2 sections, one right here and one right here. On this side, this is going to be our fiction side. Okay, does anyone remember what we talked about for fiction books?
They're fake.
They're fake, yep. Or maybe fantasy, similar to fake.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else have any characteristics that we talked about for fiction?
Superman.
Superman is a character that could be in a fiction book, that's right. The purpose of them is to entertain.
Mm-hmm.
Entertain the audience. I'll write that up.
There were animals that could talk.
That's right. How about we use the word that's like imagination? Use your imagination more with fiction books.